Well, after years of searching, the wreckage of a cargo ship that sank in Lake Superior more than 130 years ago has been found. The Western Reserve was one of the first all-steel cargo ships to traverse the Great Lakes. In August 1892, this ship entered Lake Superior's Whitefish Bay between Michigan and Canada when a rare autumn gale formed. 27 people on board were killed, and over the last century, explorers have believed that that ship cracked in half during the storm. The Great Lakes Shipwreck Historical Society say that they have now found the Western Reserve, and a sonar scan revealed the wreckage about 60 miles northwest of Whitefish Point on the UP.